Well, it's a physical and mental and spiritual attraction to each other so that you want to be with that person more than anyone else.
And I think love is setting aside self for the sake of others.
Well, the Lord says love the Lord first and most. I guess we have to go by His definition of love. So we have to first love the Lord with all our heart before we can really, really, truly love anybody else.
A very deep and intimate relationship that, again, she is more a part of me than my right arm. I couldn't imagine not having her as a part of my life, and that's what our love is.
I've just learned that love is a lot about self-sacrifice, and when I married Drew, you always have these romantic notions which are fulfilled, but love, day in and day out is about self-sacrificing and being selfless for the people that you love.
My simple definition for love is doing the will for another no matter what the cost.
True love has to be enduring the hardships, sticking it out, and still enjoying the person. And the only way you can do that is through God's grace and mercy.
Christ, that's my answer. Christ.
The more that I think Karen and I, the longer we've been married, the more that we both matured as Christians, I think have better understood the biblical context of marriage and what it really means with Christ and the church and our roles as husband and wife. And it's something that I still think we're growing a lot in, but in the context of love of each other, I think there's no better picture than there is than that of Christ and the church.
Marriage is a union between a man and a woman that is sanctioned by God.
Marriage is kind of like the tale of two cities. It's the best of times, and it can be trying. But when you make a commitment to God and to each other, you try to make the best through prayer, through Bible study, of the down times.
Also, I think too, just in our world today, the view of marriage and what men and women are supposed to treat each other is a lot different than a biblical marriage. And just when we first got married, it was a lot harder for me to submit to Drew. But just learning more about the biblical view of marriage and just what God feels, it's easier to submit as a God, to a godly husband, and also, marriage is just a refining process, growing you closer to Christ through difficult trials and things that you have to go through.
I thought it was going to go pretty much the way I thought it was going to go. This is how it's going to be, and if there was going to be any resistance or anything that was going to mess up my plans, that I was going to be able to overcome those things and work it through, and it was pretty much going to be what I wanted it to be. Now I'm looking back and I'm seeing, forget about what I want it to be. I want this marriage to be what Christ wants it to be.
I think we do a good job of forgiving each other and finding it easy to come to each other when we've wronged each other and not let that build up and stew.
Well, that's grace. Just like she said, love is 100% grace. And thank God He put it on us first, grace. So we're supposed to take that grace and show it to each other every day, and grace the mistakes and accomplishments.
You've got to look to Christ and pray.
Really, she's my best friend.
Yeah.
More than anything else. I don't have any secrets from her. She knows what I'm good at and where I screw up and when I screw up. And she forgives me for that.
You really realize, after you've been married such a time and raised children, how you become so bonded together and have feelings, such as you realize that your mate, God somehow communicates to you that your mate is in need even though you don't see them, they're not present, but you feel things, you bonded together so.